In today's Explainer, we're going to dig into two really powerful stories. They both grapple with a huge question. Can our absolute worst moments, the rock bottom ones, actually turn into our biggest opportunities? Well, we're about to find out. So, yeah, that's the big question we're tackling today, right? How can a moment of total crisis become a turning point? We're going to explore this through the lives of two incredible women, Mohini and Kavita. Both of them found themselves at their absolute lowest point, feeling completely and utterly trapped. Or at least that's what they thought. But they were about to find a way forward that, trust me, they never could have imagined.
Okay, so first, let's really set the scene. Because to get why their transformations are so amazing, you have to understand just how hopeless things were for them. I mean, we're talking about two women who are completely on the brink, just trapped and facing this crushing pressure from all sides.
And you can see their struggles laid out right here, side by side. It's just brutal. You've got Mohini, a widow who's treated with, honestly, utter contempt. Her boss yells at her, her family abuses her, she's forced to do all the chores, and she's sleeping on a freezing floor with a single torn quilt. Then you have Kavita. She's the only one bringing in money, caring for her disabled husband, a sick mother-in-law, and a daughter with a serious breathing illness. These aren't just, bad days. This is a relentless, day in, day out battle just to survive.
And for Kavita, the pressure wasn't just emotional, it was brutally financial. Just try to put yourself in her shoes for a second. You're running this tiny little roadside food stall, and the doctor tells you it's 2,000 rupees every single month just for your daughter's inhaler. And then comes the big one. 5 lakh rupees, that's $500,000 for her husband's operation. This wasn't just a bill, it was a mountain she had absolutely no way to climb.
So the question is, how does change even begin when you're that far down? Well, for Mohini, it wasn't some big, elaborate plan. Nope. It started with something really small, something completely pure. Let's get into how a simple wish from her son sparked something truly incredible. So picture this. It's another freezing night, and her son Munna is shivering right next to her. And he just says this simple, innocent thing. Mother, I wish we had a small tandoor, like at your daba, so we could be warm. It wasn't him asking for a toy. It was just a child wanting to feel warm and wanting his mom to feel warm too. And for Mohini, after all the cruelty, all the neglect, to finally have someone, her own son, see her suffering and care about it, that was everything. That was the spark.
And what she does next is it's pure genius born out of necessity. She has zero money, right? But she's got her mind. So she finds an old broken bucket. She coats it with clay. And just like that, the tandoor heater is born. It's such a simple, elegant solution to a massive problem created from literally nothing. And then comes a moment that just flips the entire script. Her mother-in-law, who'd been a huge source of her misery, sees Mohini's boss just laying into her one last time. And in this unbelievable turnaround, she grabs Mohini's hand, pulls her away, and says, "Enough is enough, Mohini. You will start your own business." Can you believe it? She finally saw the strength that was there all along. And in that one moment, Mohini gets the most unexpected and powerful ally she could have ever asked for. Okay, so that's Mohini's incredible journey. Now, let's switch gears and go back to Kavita. Her turning point wasn't sparked by an invention. No, hers came from what felt like an absolute, total disaster. It's one of those stories that makes you think, maybe the universe really does step in when you feel like you have nothing left. Kavita's breaking point. It's just devastating. Her daughter faints at school from her illness. And at that exact same time, a huge snowstorm rolls in, completely cutting off the village from the rest of the world. Kavita just collapses, crying, thinking, I failed. I'm a bad mother. That snowstorm wasn't just weather, It was the perfect symbol for that cold, lonely despair she was feeling. But here's the twist. The very storm that felt like the end of the world, it was actually her salvation. A tourist car gets stuck in the snow right near her place. They have nowhere else to go, so they stumble into her tiny little food stall. And what does Kavita do? Even in her despair, she does what she always does. She makes them her famous omelet and fires up her tandoor to keep them warm. It's just a simple act of kindness, but as they talk through the night, she tells them her story. And it turns out, the man, Mr. Mehra, he's a famous doctor. He's so moved by her kindness, by the fact that she's helping them while her own world is falling apart, that he offers her,
5 lakh rupees, the exact amount she needed for her husband's surgery. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It feels less like a coincidence and more like, I don't know, a miracle delivered by a snowstorm. So there you have it, 2 absolutely incredible transformations. One came from Mohini's own creativity, and the other from a stranger's kindness. Now, let's take a step back and really break this down. What's the anatomy of this kind of change? What's the actual blueprint? This really sums it up perfectly, doesn't it? Both women went from being totally powerless, mistreated, overlooked, desperate, to becoming completely empowered. They became the creators of their own destiny. They earned respect, admiration, and maybe most importantly, they went from desperately needing a solution to being the ones who provided solutions for other people.
And I think this is the crucial point, right? There isn't just one single path to success. For Mohini, the catalyst was her own personal ingenuity. She had a problem, the cold, and she invented a solution that turned into a business. For Kavita, the catalyst was external kindness. A complete stranger gave her the chance to turn her small stall into a thriving hotel. They had two totally different starting points, but they both led to the same amazing outcome. They got their lives back.
Okay, so what can we actually learn from these two modern-day fables? Because they're more than just inspiring stories, right? They offer some really clear universal lessons about resilience and about how opportunity can show up in the strangest ways. Okay, so let's break down the key takeaways. First, we learned that extreme pressure can actually spark creativity. It doesn't just break you. Sometimes it focuses you, forcing you to find a simple solution, like, a heater made from a broken bucket. Second, never underestimate the power of kindness. Kavita's story proves that one single act can literally change a person's entire life. Next, small, simple solutions can lead to huge opportunities. That little tandoor heater, that one delicious omelet, they weren't the end goal, they were the first step. And of course, resilience is absolutely fundamental. But maybe the biggest lesson is that help often comes from the most unexpected sources. A former adversary, a total stranger stuck in a snowstorm, you just never know. There's a line in this story that I think really captures the feeling of hope that runs through all of this. It says, God never disappoints his true devotees. He gives them support to live in one way or another. And that really speaks to this idea that even when things seem completely hopeless, a path forward can appear, usually in a way you could never, ever have seen coming. And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. Mohini took something literally broken and thrown away, a bucket, and she turned it into warmth, into a business, into a new life. So it makes you wonder, right? What's the broken bucket in your life? What's that thing that seems useless or broken that, if you just looked at it a little differently, could become your own source of warmth, of opportunity, and of strength?